Saskatoon is growing. Our population continues to increase and many new homes are being built. You might be asking, with so many new people moving here, why are my property taxes increasing? Before we get started, if you haven't yet watched Saskatoon's How Your City Budget Works video, check that out first, then come back here to learn more. Let's start by explaining the difference between municipal property taxes and taxes collected by the federal and provincial governments. The City of Saskatoon collects taxes based on properties. In other words, the city doesn't generate greater tax revenues from new population alone. Instead, it generates these revenues from new residential, commercial, institutional, and industrial land and buildings. In contrast, the federal and provincial governments generate revenues from people, especially when they work or when they shop, through income taxes and sales taxes, like the GST or PST. Cities can't do this, even though a growing city costs more to maintain and service. Property taxes are revenue neutral. This means when property assessments increase or decrease due to changes in property values, the city's tax revenue doesn't automatically change. So, the City of Saskatoon can only increase the amount of revenue collected from property taxes in two ways: by adding more homes and buildings, or by increasing the property tax rate. Federal and provincial governments, however, can increase the amount of tax revenues they collect in a number of ways. For example, they can increase their revenue from income taxes when there are more people working, since there are more people to collect income tax from. They can also raise the income tax rates, but rarely do so. Finally, they can increase the rate of the sales tax. When the population of a city grows, employment increases, and people usually buy more goods and services. This generates extra revenue for the federal and provincial governments through sales taxes. Okay, so let's recap. 1. The City of Saskatoon can only increase the amount of revenue they collect from property taxes in two ways: by adding more homes and buildings, or by increasing the property tax rate. 2. By contrast, federal and provincial governments can and do collect more taxes when there is an increase in population, employment, or income. So, as we saw earlier, the number of people moving to Saskatoon is increasing at a faster rate than the number of properties the city collects property tax from. However, the city still needs to provide services and infrastructure for our rapidly growing city, and this creates a gap in costs that exceeds the current amount of property tax revenue collected. In our next video, we'll explain other reasons that contribute to why property taxes are increasing. Visit saskatoon.ca/financialfuture for more information.